Well, the Nigerian government has rejected a Reuters news agency report published last week about a secret program of forced abortions run by the military in the country's northeast. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says any allegation against the Nigerian army without evidence is dangerous. But Lai said the report is a strategy to set the world against Nigeria and cut off the support that is critical to finally win the war against terrorism. He said Reuters made the allegation without evidence, citing only anonymous sources and the reported review of phantom documents. Okay, we're now being joined in the studios by Charles Odenigbo. Is a lawyer and is going to examine the accusations leveled against the Nigerian military. Very warm welcome to Newsnight, Charles.
Thank you, Christian.
How do you reconcile this level of accusation against the Nigerian military when Nigerians are beginning to heave a sigh of relief that the military, is gained the upper hand in driving and pushing the terrorists, almost out of the country. And at this time, a news agency is bringing such a report.
Thank you, Christian. Number one, to even say I want to reconcile the report will be to acknowledge that they've done a good job. In my personal opinion, this is what we call voodoo journalism. It is mercenary journalism concocted from the pit of hell by people that have no love for Nigeria and Africa. Like you said, Nigeria has been able to heave a measure sigh of relief. I was in the Northeast. I led a team of journalists. We investigated. We went to all nooks and crannies. We met with women. We met with children. We saw those that just gave birth to children. I saw them firsthand. And I'm speaking responsibly. There is no iota of truth in what Reuters have written. I will give you some reasons. Number one, no single representative of Reuters visited any part of Nigeria and engaged anybody physically.
Even with the quotes that they spoke to about 40 military personnel.
It is a lie concocted from the pit of hell of their own kind of journalism. All the tenets of journalism were violated. And I think the International Press Institute should be prevailed upon to intervene. Why am I saying this? Number one. Number two is this. When Reuters was about to publish that particular report, it reached out to certain people in the military, reached out to some politicians, and stage managed certain things in complicity with some international non-governmental organizations. I was in Maiduguri. Let me tell you something. Most of these bodies funded by Reuters and other bodies have already paid for hotels for 20, 30 years ahead of time. They concoct this story, create fear in their home countries so they can get money into Nigeria and use it to fund terrorism. The lesser problem we have in Nigeria...
What would be their gains in funding terrorism?
Their gain is they make money. That is all. They don't love this country.
Not because, there are embedded mineral resources, as some people would say, the level of uranium, gold in the Northeast, just alluvial surface.
Not
if
alluvial.
You have riverbeds there,
No, this thing has been going on for decades upon decades upon decades. And it is commercial. They do not love Nigeria, number one. Talking about uranium that you need for any particular nuclear equipment is just a little. So when you talk about the deposit of uranium, it's beyond anybody. Of course, there is uranium in that axis. There is in Mali, there is in Chad, and a host of them. The fishing industry, the gold, and the rest of them, they are there. So they make money from there. But beyond that, they create fear in the international community so they can get money and grants flowing into them. For whatever reason, they are behind the insurgency that we have in Nigeria today. As long as we have crisis, they benefit. As long as we have peace, they do not benefit. They've denied Nigeria military equipment. So they are wondering, how is Nigeria achieving this measure of peace in the face of being denied military equipment to fight insurgency?
But doesn't Reuters' position here in sync with the earlier accusations by AI, Amnesty International, which often accuse the Nigerian military of high-handedness, of wanton killings and the rest, as against the attacks by the terrorists ISWAP and Boko Haram on innocent Nigerians and the rest?
Amnesty International is the master of international conspiracy. That is their trade, their stock in trade. When Reuters bungled the story about, accusing Russia of being the country that attacked Poland, that bombed Poland, what did Amnesty International do? When some NGOs in Britain that are engaged in abortion continued and they came to Nigeria, I don't want to mention the name for legal reasons. They are right here in Nigeria. They engage in abortion. What did Reuters do about it? Why didn't Reuters point accusing fingers at this international NGO that has been carrying out abortion at the highest level in England and in different parts of Africa and in Nigeria? Why didn't Reuters beam the searchlight on that particular organization? It's known as MSI. So if you want to accuse the military has not even finished the work before it with the resources it has, and you are now accusing it of engaging in infanticide, which is contrary to the culture of Nigeria, contrary to our religion, contrary to the ethics and rules of engagement. It is an unfounded allegation, and in my personal view, the federal government should take it up at 3 levels. 3 levels. The Minister of Information should file a petition against Reuters at the International Press Institute, the IPI. Number 2, the Foreign Affairs Minister should use diplomatic means to investigate the activities of these international non-governmental organizations operating in the northeast, northwest, and a pocket in some parts of Nigeria. Number 3, the Attorney General of the Federation should explore all the legal avenues open to Nigeria to seek redress speedily and effectively. No Nigerian should take this particular report casually, and no Nigerian media should support Reuters in this type of mercenary journalism. This is voodoo. This is demonization of a particular institution. When you look at most of the institutions in Nigeria, one of the few institutions still standing is the Nigerian military. Take away the Nigerian military as an institution, you will have challenges. They've damaged a lot of institutions in Nigeria, and now they are going for the soul that keeps this nation united, keeps this nation where we are today. And the moment they can destroy it and they take our generals to the International Criminal Court, they seem to have won a battle that they have been targeting for a very long time.
Okay, in the face of the accusations by Reuters, is the military's own regenerative indices for the issue of reintegration, de-radicalization, and rehabilitation of captured or surrendered Boko Haram members, their families, and even the children. How do you think that these 3 indices are capable of redressing the issue of terrorism and maybe banditry in the country?
Absolutely. I will tell you why. Firsthand, I was in Maiduguri. Firsthand, I was in Zamfara. Firsthand, I was in Sokoto, in Birnin Kebbi, and most of the parts where we have problem on investigative journalism. I teach legal and regulatory issues in investigative journalism. I teach special methods of investigative journalism, and I teach media law. Now, when you look at what you have seen in this particular different parts of this country, your question simply clarifies the fact that in this country, the radicalization as a non-kinetic instrument is one of the ways of purging these people who are victims of the insurgency. I saw children, I saw thousands of children, little ones. I saw babies, hundreds of them. I saw their mothers. I saw the Chibok girls with my 2 eyes and their babies. I saw even one of the most dreaded ex-commanders of Shekau. I think he's the only one remaining today. They call him Rugurugu. He has surrendered. He spoke with the media. I saw the spiritual leader of Shekau. He has repented. He is there assisting in this DRR. Now, with this de-radicalization, if you don't do it, you cannot reintegrate these people back into the system. Don't forget that most of them were forcefully captured where they were living without their consent. They were taken away, some at the age of 4, at the age of 5, their women were taken away, raped, and they came back with these babies. Some of the children are 17 today, they are 15 today, they are 14 today, they are 15. I saw them with my 2 eyes. I went into the camp, I saw thousands of these people, and I saw those who are taking them through a process of this de-radicalization. It is painstaking, it is scientific, it is organized, and it has to be sustained. Why? They have been indoctrinated over the years, and it's going to take a period of the radicalization to purge them of what the terrorists have already put into them.
Can the Nigerian government really sustain this?
They are doing it very well. What the federal government needs to do is to also provide support to the Borno state government, the Yobe state government, those northeast state government, northeastern states, and then northwest. You need to support all these governors in what they are doing. I saw what they are doing. They need all the support that they can get to achieve this non-kinetic method of de-radicalization before they can reintegrate the people back into the system. By the way, they watch the World Cup there. They are watching the World Cup. They play football. There is a stadium for them. They are having a swell time.
What kind of skills are they being taught now?
They are being
as
taught
part of the reintegration or rehabilitation.
Beautiful. You know, to be able to reintegrate them, you need to first of all rehabilitate them by de-radicalization. So when they are rehabilitated, they come back to their senses again. In other words, you cleanse them of the evil indoctrination that the terrorists put into them. Some of them are also just recovering from hypnosis. Those of them that carry the suicide bombers. I saw the fighter women with my 2 eyes. We engage them. They need a process. So when you are bringing them back to put them back into the society, they are learning tailoring. They are learning how to make the caps, these Hausa caps. They are learning some other skills. Some are into music, some are into shoemaking. As a matter of fact, they make good shoes in that place, and a host of other skills are being released to them. And by the way, the military is there with them day and night in all these facilities, providing protection, guiding them. The Borno state government providing the medical and other facilities for them. We visited all the hospitals and a host of them, and I can assure you one thing, Reuters have no evidence whatsoever of what they have written. They sat down in South Africa and concocted a story in order to destroy this nation called Nigeria, and we must rise as a nation and condemn what Reuters have done in all its entirety. This is not journalism. This is demonization of an institution and a nation. We should not take it casually.
Thank you so very much for your vehemence in denouncing Reuters and, of course, standing very firm with the Nigerian military in the yeoman's job they've been doing, and of course, it's their constitutional duties to defend Nigeria's integrity and the rest.
Thank
Charles
you,
Odenigbo is a lawyer and journalism teacher. Thank you.